This is an absolutely beautiful model. As you know, the history of this particular model, there is some controversy, and I will talk about that after this review. As usual, and the overall shape of this model is spot on. This model looks just like the real car. The carbon fiber pattern on it is very, very uniform. I don't see any mistakes or issues with that at all. And just start with the side of this model per usual. Look at the shut lines on this model. This is a die-cast metal model, and it has shut lines that would fool you as a sealed model or an ABS model like from Auto Art, but it's not. This is die-cast metal. The wheel detail is fantastic. It's extremely detailed. You have the very nicely, very accurate wheel. You have the center cap, which does look like it's separate from the actual hub, which is really good. There's the valve stem is present. The brake caliper is excellent. The rotor behind it is very, very good. And it has the tire scripting. So this is a complete package when it comes to the wheels. It has everything that you would want out of a high quality die-cast model. Just taking a look at the front of this model. The headlight detail is fantastic. It's done so well you would swear that this was the same headlight detail and material that we used from the almost real Zondas, but it's not. This is LCD. And it looks fantastic. The separation of the blue carbon fiber versus the black, it's outlined perfectly. There's a little scripting on the nose as well, and it's very legible. The front diffuser or air dam is very well done. Has this black glossy carbon fiber, and it looks the part. It is very, very nice. The headlights themselves, very precise, very clear. Can't really find any flaws in that at all. Moving on to the back of the model. Of course, what stands out is this beautiful mesh grille that reveals a lot of what is going to be or is the motor detail. The tinted taillights are very good. It's not really much to see there because they are tinted, but it looks very realistic. And the tire back of this, just like the rest of the car, is all carbon fiber. You have the protective ring on the outside as well, which is very nicely done. The exhaust outlets are deep enough, so they do have that realism to them, and they do feel as if they are actually photo etched metal, so that's an extra bonus. This is a fully opening model, and man, I've been anticipating this for a long time, ever since this was known to be going to be produced by LCD. So you do have to open the doors first, then you get access to the front, and there's actually a magnet holding this front, which is unique to LCD. So there is a little catch to it. And you have the back. And there you are, fully open. a closer look at the interior, you have all of the expected controls that you would want to see in a model this detailed. Some of the things that I really like to point out with this is the wood grain on the steering wheel, for example, is very, very realistic looking. That looks as if it was wood. You have the small little bolts that are present here, just like the real thing, which is really nice. The shift knob is very accurate. You have all your controls from the dashboard. The glove box is openable if that's something that you're interested in playing around with. So you have that as well. You have these very nice Pagani emblems sitting here on the floor mats. Now, I have never paid too much attention to the real car in real life to know whether or not this floor should be like this. Should it be a flat panel or is this carpeted? I'm not sure. It's something that I'd have to research. But just moving on, the door cards are fantastic. You have this really cool plaid pattern here. You have the speakers with the grills, the door handle, and of course it's surrounded by carbon fiber. It's just excellent. Again, you have the shift knob. The boot does have the wrinkles as if it was soft. It's obviously not. You have the standard handbrake with, again, very beautiful wood handle. The seats are nicely detailed. No complaints there. Now, a company like Almost Real does a very good job of making the seats appear as if they're soft, and LCD has gotten better at it. Just looking at the seats, they still do look a little more on the plastic side, so I wouldn't say there's really that sense of softness. And I think the thing that really gives it away is actually the way the plaid is laid out on it. You can tell, and maybe it's just a little biased because I know this is a model as opposed to the real car, but it almost looks like the pattern is stuck on, but I'm probably quibbling about that. Just another view of some of the additional controls. Everything is there. Ignition, your turn signals, it's all there. It's just really nice. Inside here you have your speakers. You have this storage compartment here as well. It's nicely photo etched. You have this very accurate scoop here that scoops air into the motor, and there is a perforated grill up front there as well. It's just a lot here. Now, it would appear that the seatbelts are missing because you don't see them under this loop, but they are sitting back there, so that's what that is right there. And there is a photo etched buckle further down in there, just so you'll know. And the storage compartments. These are functional, so this strap you can take out, and it does reveal a baggage. I did honestly pre-open this side only because of all the trouble I had getting the strap loose. I did fasten it, but you can see it's barely on because, again, I just wanted to make this as simple as possible. So I can just pull that out there, and there's your bag. Now, I always say this about this Pagani's and this extra feature. It's not really my thing. I mean, it's cute and nice that it opens, but this is the first time and probably the last time that I open this compartment because of all the trouble it takes to open it, and I just don't think it's a necessary thing. But I do know that some people really do like that feature, so I get it. Just looking at the front compartment, as you can see, it's very nicely detailed. You have all of this carbon fiber pattern. Even the fan shrouds are carbon fiber, just like the real thing. You can see the fans right behind there. Here's some wiring. It's just stunning. Look at all that carbon fiber work. Moving on to the motor detail. As expected, it is absolutely beautiful. Anything that you'd want to see in engine detail is here. Not only do you see the appropriate hoses and some wiring, there's just so much depth to this engine. There's so much detail. I'm just going to go ahead and touch on the absolutely stunning titanium exhaust in the back there. And it does look the part. It looks realistic. It's so beautiful. The discoloration is perfectly duplicated. It's very, very nice. Then you go further and you have those valve covers. Standard that you would see on a AMG motor. You can see spark plug wires. You can see hoses. Go on this side, you can see the appropriate dipsticks are there. Fluid containers. It's just all there. And something else that you may notice, I don't see one plastic cut line anywhere. The suspension is a working suspension, and I'll play around with that in a minute or two. I really like this beautiful carbon fiber intake that's integrated into the motor. It's really, really well done. Just to show you, the springs are functional. So I'm pushing this suspension. You can see it's a working suspension. And of course, it's for both sides. It's a closer look at the front of the model, and it's just, again, just tons of detail. Look how beautiful that carbon fiber is, the way it reflects off the light. How nicely done this black was integrated. The line is perfect. The headlights, very realistic. All the way to the front where you see these fog lights. It's just amazed at this model. And when you turn towards the back, you have this very nicely integrated perforated grille here for cooling. Again, notice there's no flaws with the carbon fiber at all. It's just absolutely stunning. Here, close this compartment. Then you have that beautiful reveal of that motor through the mesh grille. The exhaust outlets, again, nice and deep and realistic. And then with the back closed, you have a peek of the motor through that perforated grille in the back, and this beautifully integrated scoop. Nicely detailed wheels up close with a nicely, really well done carbon ceramic disc in the back. Of course, it goes for the back as well. And there you are, the Pagani Barchetta by LCD models. And now to my conclusions. This model is absolutely stunning. I am very, very satisfied with the model I received. That being said, there is an issue with this model. Not mine in particular yet, but it has a lot to do with peeling. There have been reports, mostly on the purple version, of the glossy surface peeling. And this is mostly around the opening areas. So that is a great concern. So that's just something to keep in mind. So that's what I meant by take the bullet for you, because I actually purchased this model. I couldn't borrow it from anywhere because no one had any. So I actually bought this model just to do the review. Now, despite that, as you saw, this is a very beautiful model. LCD did a bang up job with this model. Not only is it a full opening model, it has the full suspension. So the suspension actually works both in the front and the back. The mirrors actually retract if you wanted to move those around. The steering wheel steers. It has all of these little things that, you know, now on top of it being a beautiful model and a functional model, it has all of these different accessories. So this is a great package for $279 US. Now, you probably won't be able to find one for $279 US, and that's because they're so rare. I believe what's happened here, and I cannot confirm this, but it just seems this way, that LCD held out on the blue ones because of the paint issue. You try finding these and they're typically double the price. I've seen them as high as $499 for this particular model, just for the blue one. The white one, you don't have that pricing issue. You can get it at retail price. The purple one, it depends on where you get it at, but it's nowhere near the cost of this blue one. If I was to place a value on this model, I would give it the $4 sign. Now that's with a caveat. I give it the $4 signs if LCD does not re-release an improved edition of this model. If they release an improved edition, then the value of anyone who has the original one is definitely going to go down. So that's just something to keep in mind. But if that doesn't happen and LCD decides not to release the rest of them, well, now you have something that's very rare. Despite the defect, it still would actually raise in value because it has a story behind it. So that's just something to keep in mind. Please like and subscribe. That is the best way I'm going to know you're enjoying these videos. I really do appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing you next time.